I appreciate the work my senior servants of God have been doing in this country, organizing men's conferences to sort out the current social crisis and maybe save the current and the next incoming generation. But I'm a bit upset because it seems we are not getting it right even now. I think there's somewhere we have been getting it wrong all along. The current crisis we are in right now shall not be solved by organizing men's conferences and talking to men, talking to us about how to become the best men that we can have, or becoming the best boys we can become. God did not create men, and God did not create boys. Any one time that God wanted to address a generational issue, to deal with a generation, hardly God used men. In matters to deal with a generation, God never used men. When he wanted them to go to war, God used men. David's men of valor, Joshua's army, they were men of valor, men of war. They stood like men of war, fought for the children of Israel. But when it came to generational issues, God used fathers. And that's where we have been getting it wrong all along. God did not create men. Adam was not a man. He was more than a man. He was a father. Noah was more than a man. He was a father. Father Abraham, he was not just a man. He was a father. Joseph, who became the father of Jesus. He was not the biological father of Jesus, but in him, he had the capability, the capacity to raise Jesus. He was in himself a father. And that's why God elevated him, almost to share a name with him, to be called the father of Jesus. Because God was looking at a generation. He was now dealing with a generation. He had to raise a father who shall bring up a son, who he called Jesus Christ, his son, his only son. He had to entrust him to a father, not a man. No man can raise a son. Men raise boys. Fathers raise sons. Men are the raw materials we should use to mold fathers. And boys are the raw materials we should use to mold sons. The current social crisis we are in right now, if you are not going to raise fathers, if you are not going to mold these men into fathers and mold these boys into sons, I don't think we shall do any better. My urge and my plea this evening is to my seniors. May we direct our efforts. May we perceive, may we understand the current problem we are facing in this society. Kenya, we are number 3 in Africa with the most single mothers. And our job, our mandate as servants of God is to mold these men to become fathers and to mold these boys to become sons. Boys do not inherit, only sons inherit. And men do not leave inheritance to anyone, only fathers do. Kindly, let's amass our efforts to raising fathers. Fathers who can care for their children. Fathers who can care for the mothers of their children. Fathers who are concerned about what they have to leave for the next generation. I look forward to when we shall organize a conference, Fathers Raising Sons Conference. God bless you. I'm Daddy West, and I know you're going to have a conversation.